Hey, so I want to look at XLY. This is the consumer discretionary sector. Last time we looked at them, we gave them a fair value rating. That's why it's highlighted in blue here. You can also see in the bottom right corner that is uh, like our legend for the color coordination here. Last time we looked at XLY was on May 30th, so 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago. At that time, it was trading at 152. I had buy points marked at 137 and 147. Also noting resistance at 170 and 181. So we'll see if that gets updated at all. Curious to see what happens there. And then the note that we left for ourselves is it's in this long-term uptrend. The downtrend that we did see was broken, and this one's driven by Amazon and Tesla. And so if we look at this other tab here, we can see uh, this is the top 10 holdings in XLY. So we have Amazon, Tesla, McDonald's, Starbucks. Those ones highlighted yellow, those are ones that we're currently following. So pretty good idea of what's going on. If this one were to peak out or hit a low, we can jump on these four and have some confidence since we follow them. Uh, this the other reason I show this is I want to just see if these change at all over time. So this is like the first time I've tracked it, and this is the date. So I could check in now that it's been like uh, not quite 2 weeks, but very close. But I think if we just check once a month, that should be enough. Um, yeah, so this kind of gives us the split, and so that's what that note was leading to. Amazon and Tesla here, the only two positions over 10%. Just a few weeks ago, I'm assuming not much has changed, but those two make up about 42% of this sector. So that is something that we need to be aware of. If one of these or both of these do well, the sector should really uh, improve rapidly. But if these two fall, it could be very harmful for this one. So just something for us to keep in mind. But again, let's go into the technicals here, see what we should change if anything. And so right off the bat, it's a little messy. So I do want to try to clean it up here. Um, I guess what we'll do is we'll remove this uptrend, I suppose, just to clean it up. We'll remove this downtrend because we broke both of those. That uptrend that lasted till end of 2021. Then we had this big reset type of moment all of 2022. And now in 2023, we're starting to climb back up. So what we had, or what we still have here, is we had some sideways consolidation. I might update those. But right here, we had this longer set of purple lines. That is the long-term uptrend, which it looks like it's just been that way for a very long time. Starting back in 2009, been in this uptrend. Then around 2016, it accelerated a little bit more. That's the trend that I think we're still in. You can see there's definitely been dips below that line, even most recently. Uh, if we look at that long-term trend, yeah, we had a very big period of back from like September up until just a couple weeks ago, uh, end of May, early June, we are below that trend. So that was all fair opportunities to buy this one. Um, but yeah, I marked it fair value. So I guess we were looking at a number of things here. Um, one of which was we had the shorter term uptrend. So that's what these purple lines are. And just to kind of give us some clarity, I'm going to make those like an orangish yellow, just so we can, I guess they're like gold. So what I want to do here is I just want to scale these up a little bit. So before I was catching the absolute bottom of this short-term uptrend that we're saying started at about January of 2023, I just want to, whoops, grab the wrong one. Let me grab this top one. If we were to kind of pick this range, maybe. So this catches this top, and then this one down here, that kind of catches this bottom. So I didn't change it too much. Really, I just changed the bottom line. I know I moved that one up because before I was trying to catch this dip, but this one seems like it's the more reliable dipping pattern. The uptrend, I don't really think I changed it that much, um, but I must have scaled it up a little bit, but again, probably not by much. So I'm okay with that. I guess just based on the purple uptrend, the very long one, that should have dominance, I suppose, in this when comparing the two, considering how long it's been in effect. So looking at just the purple line, so we'll zoom in a little bit closer, we're like right in the middle. This past week, that range was about 158 to about 171. We're at 165, so right around in the middle here. If we look at the yellow, more shorter term uptrend, and we can actually change that a little bit. I think I got it mixed up just a touch. That still looks decent. I do think I moved this. Hold on. Let's catch it. Okay, so something like that. That looks about right. So if we look at that short-term trend, we're well above it. So I would expect a pullback if, depending on where we rank the yellow line. And the recency bias kind of gives it some weight, not as much as the purple, but just something to keep in mind. In terms of our horizontal line, so we marked, what is it, 137. That seemed to have decent support there. 137 uh, uh, on its rise up. Once it passed there, it came back very close twice, acted as support, continued its rally all the way to all-time highs. On its way down, it uh, dropped below it slightly, but I would say overall it hung out in that range. This is in June or July of 22, this set right here, and I'll zoom in a little bit for us. Then again, it came to these prices during October all the way to December of 22. It actually dipped below for a month, hung out there again for a week in January of this year, pulled back again in March, and then ever since March it's been up. So I do like this line. We'll see how much longer that one holds. If I were to find another support type of line, so we picked here, that could be, we have one, two, not too much. Is there a better spot? I could maybe even drag this down just a little bit. Just a little bit. That kind of catches this back here a little bit. I guess that's it for support. Any others? Possibly like, whoops, possibly up here. We could do that. And then in terms of resistance, so ultimately we have the 210, which is all-time highs. Here at 181, it definitely struggled to get above that point. Even on its way down, it tried to rally back up, but 181 seemed to really halt things. Other types of resistance, 150. I guess if we just work our way down. Uh, hmm. So what I want to do here, I'm just gonna play around with these. Let me change this. Hopefully this keeps it fairly simple. So I'm changing these blue lines to green. They're marking what I think are like kind of support areas. Um, and then if I were to just draw on some resistance lines, okay, so we have this at 181. Is there another spot that I feel like it's getting held up at? Uh, we could argue here at 168. We'll just make that red, and we'll make that maybe half. We'll make it a little less. We'll make it a true half. Another one. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we could draw it somewhere in here too. That's a narrow window. Okay. Uh, I don't know if this will make sense truly, but hopefully. Man, they're so like skinny. We gotta make them a little bit bigger. Okay. Okay, so I guess we're going away from the blue lines at this point. We'll see how this plays out. So that might change come next time. We'll see. So with those in mind, it looks like we're running into a spot that uh, we're seeing might cause a little bit of trouble at 168. Currently, it's at 165. I again, it's not like a big point of resistance. This one's red because it had like from July all the way till October, so like 3 months worth of resistance. It did peak above, and then we had another 2 points of resistance. Here we had one, uh, two, I guess I'll say, three, and then here comes four. Yeah, so I'm okay with that. Okay. Okay. So that's how I'm seeing it. So currently it was 152. So let's go back a couple steps. So if we zoom in all the way here, so 530, that was somewhere in here. Again, 152. So we saw this one. We caught it down here, surprisingly. So 152 right in here. Since then, it's gone straight up. So we thought it was a fair price. Turned out to be a good price. Right now, so we're going to update this from 152 to 165. Buy points. So right now, I'd be looking for 158. That'd be one spot. 158, 154 would be more ideal. Okay. So I'm just going to update these. So they were 137, 147. 137's all the way down here, our green line. 147. I chose that most likely because it was right in here, the bottom of the yellow channel. So that's why those two uh, points were made. We're going to update it though. We're going to change it to 158, I think is a good price. Ideally, like 154. So what we'll do is I'm removing 147. I'm adding 154 and 158. Is that what I said? Yeah, about 158. For me, I mean, the ultimate's 137, but what I'm going to say is 154, I guess. Let me zoom out a little bit. I mean, 137 is like the true number. Okay. So we're going to make 137 bold because that's the real number. But honestly, if this one pulled back to 154, I'd probably pick it up. In terms of resistance, I think we're nearing it. Resistance right now, to give it 3 points, would be 169, 171, all the way up to 181. So we'll keep in, we already had 181, we had 170 and 181. We're gonna, we can change it to 168 and 171. Okay. So 168, 171, and our true resistance point is really 181. So I'll make that one bold for us. Yeah, so very interesting to see that. I'm just going to update today's date to today. And in terms of our note, long-term uptrend, I guess what we'll do is add in dates. And what I'll say is, I guess we'll say all time. So this goes back till when? 2009. Long-term uptrend since 2009. Downtrend is broken. I'm going to remove that. Driven by Amazon and Tesla. That's still true. Yeah, so we're getting close to this box. This is what I originally thought it would, land in. Looks like it's going to be high. So obviously it's going to be in this range, I would imagine. In fact, I'm willing to pull this down to be like that. I guess I would still say that. So I made it a little bit smaller, but still, not sure. This one, if I can grab it, oh, I think I have to like pull it, or what's going on here? There it goes. This one, I'll still keep it higher, but I'll make it up here now. And that'll take us to the end of September. Should I make this a little bit higher? Like that? Okay. Anything else for this one? Long-term trend since 2009. Short-term uptrend since January 23. Since January 2023. As far as Amazon and Tesla, they make up 42%. So I'm going to put that combined 42%. In terms of rating this one, from green being a buy, red being don't buy, and blue being it's okay to buy. Yeah, I'm gonna give this one a red. Like, I don't like this one right now. And I'll explain that. So let me just update it first real quick. So hopefully this is somewhat easy to read here. But yeah, so it's currently at 165. And it's just very close to our resistance points. We have two intermediary resistance points and also two intermediary buy points. At 165, it's $3 away from that first resistance point, as opposed to it's $7 away from the first buy point. And then to go to the next step, it's $6 away from what I think is probably a more likely resistance point compared to 154, which is $11. So we're clearly on the closer side of resistance. I think 168 might be a little bit stronger also. Yeah, I wish I could like rank them in terms of I guess what we can do is I'll italicize 168. And in terms of the pullback, yeah, I would say 158. Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, truly, we're in the middle. I just think we're more likely to stall out and maybe pull back for a week or two, maybe scoop it up there as opposed to picking it up now. Yeah, it's not a bad one. Truly, it, it can definitely be argued that this is fair value territory. Um, I just think it's closer to the resistance point as opposed to the buy point. So that pretty much wraps us up. Um, so just a quick summary here. We have, hold on, my mouse is acting up. So XLY, currently it's at 165. I'm looking for 137, but I'd be willing to do this at 158. Resistance looks like it's very near to us. 168 is like a spot that I'm kind of wondering if it'll hit its head off there and pull back. But ultimately, 181 seems to be like our most likely resistance point. Like, it'll kind of struggle to get over that. We updated today's date. And then our note, we just said long-term uptrend since 2009. Short-term uptrend since January of this year, and this is driven by Amazon and Tesla. So if we think these ones are going to continue to see good profits and whatever, then this one actually should continue to grow because those two companies make up 42% of this ETF fund. So yeah, if you want to add anything into this, if you saw something in terms of a newsworthy event that I just didn't see, feel free to let me know in the comments. That'd be very helpful. Or if you disagree with anything, want to add in your own opinion, I'd be curious to see that and happy to read it. Otherwise, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.